All right, welcome into another edition of NFT Live. We're bringing you the latest news from around the industry. I'm sitting here with a hot dog, also known as Tigbo. We have a lot of things going on this Friday, as you can see, but it's getting a little cheesy, a little mustardy in the house here on the NFT Live studio. Tig, what's up, my man?
I'm doing good, man. Just here hanging out like I normally do every Friday. Nothing different today.
Tigbo is about to tell us why he's dressed up as a hot dog, but we will get to that here in a second. Shout out to everybody in the house that is joining us. We just pressed the live button. We have two projects to get to today, one of which is brand new to us. We were going to have them on last week. Some circumstances changed. Wunks NFT. We're going to talk about female empowerment in space, female projects, female-driven projects, all these different things here with the Wunks NFT project. And then we have Society of the Hourglass on, our good friend Joe, who has been on the channel before. That is going to be a good one to catch up on their progress since they last came on. But we are going to have ourselves a double-double here. Tigbo, you got anything to tell us other than about any hot dogs or anything like this? How are you doing in the NFT space, man?
I'm doing all right. It's a little weird this week. I feel like every time I come on, I say the same thing because I feel like I come on the end of the week where the sentiment of the market is just a little off, a little weird. But no, man, I'm glad to be here. Thanks to everyone checking us out, hanging out with us. Got a full episode today. Two awesome projects to feature for you guys. Got some giveaways going out, so definitely a lot of exciting things today.
Absolutely, man. I wanted to start today's episode here as well, talking about or giving a little bit of a tribute to a lot of money. And we are sitting here at his parcel here in Crypto Voxels. This is Rose Nexus, a beautiful parcel there in the heart of the Crypto Voxels main island in Gangnam. So this is a beautiful, piece of work, and really, a lot of money had a big impact on a lot of people in the space. I did not know him personally in the space, but a lot of people gave him shout outs today. He did, pass from cancer this, overnight essentially. So big shout out to a lot of money, and rest in peace to a lot of money here. And good luck on your journey, friend. I think a lot of people, he touched a lot of people in the space, Tig. So definitely wanted to give him and it seems a little, honestly, short when it comes to what tribute we can give him here on NFT Live, but just being able to talk about him here and give him a send-off for sure is important.
Yeah, definitely a pioneer in the crypto art space. When I first joined here about a year ago, the whale community and Token Smart, they definitely put me onto him and his work. You could just see it today, how many people he's inspired and what he meant to the space, especially now as it's become so much bigger than anyone could imagine. So definitely sad news. He was dealing with it on his own. Not many people knew what he was going through. So a lot of people, were definitely shocked by the news last night, this morning. But definitely hope he rests in peace, and definitely appreciate everything he's done for the space.
100%. And this is a quick video. You guys can't hear the audio, but you get a quick look at a lot of money here. And Josie posted a really awesome tribute here to a lot of money as well. So yeah, want to give one last quick mention. Definitely rest in peace, friend, and thank you for what you did for the space here. So we are going to have ourselves a fantastic episode here on the rest of NFT Live. We have two projects, like I said, that we're going to get to. Please leave a like. Please leave subscribe. We are bringing you the NFT news and awesome projects here every week, Tuesday, Fridays. We're here with Ronan the Collector on Tuesdays. We got Tigbo in on Fridays to wrap up the sentiment, as he said, in the NFT space. But we will get to why Tigbo is wearing a hot dog costume here. I want to play the trailer. You want to play the trailer? Or you want to tell us why you're in a costume, Tig? Which one? You tell me.
Let's run the trailer, and I'll definitely go with it.
All right.
Hot dog. Dog.
Doug.
Dog.
Doug. Doug. Hot dog.
All right. Why are you in a hot dog costume?
So, as many of you know, in LADZ City, I've been a part of the Hotdougs team now for a few months, helping them out as far as the community manager aspect and community outreach and collabs. So this team is made up of two artists from Chicago, and they created obviously their Hot Doug collection. There's 69 editions of Hot Doug. Excuse me, of Doug. And Doug's just your ordinary hot dog going through life and trying to avoid hungry humans every day. So our vibe, our feel of the project is very laid back. We're semi-docs team. As far as keeping it safe, and we were showing our faces when you see us dressed up as a hot dog suit. And for this project, it's very, very chill. It's very laid back. We're not overpromising token. We're not overpromising staking or a game. It's that we created from this Doug character that we want to expand and build a brand on. The guys came up with this idea from a funny sketch. They were one night, and they're from Chicago, so they're having hot dogs, and they sketched up this one thing. Yeah, they sketched up this one thing, and that funny sketch became a whole bunch of characters, essentially. So you can check out their website, hotdougs.xyz. Any lads that want to come on, there'll be pre-sale access for all the lads, as well as other communities that we collabing with, as Cool Cat, Doodles, all of them. You can find out all the info in our Discord. Just check us out. So pre-sale minting will be on March 8th, this upcoming Tuesday, starting at 12. And then it's actually outdated there. It should be 0.05 that we've updated it, just to kind of, with everything happening now, we're taking feedback from the community and our members. So that will happen come Tuesday. And the cool thing about the pre-sale, if you want to come check us out, we'll be live streaming the pre-sale because our dev, Dangy, will be eating 12 hot dogs live on stream. The reason why it's 12 is because, yeah. So he'll be eating 12 hot dogs on stream, and however long it takes him to finish his hot dogs, that will be the pre-sale window. So if you're in the pre-sale, you do have a limited time because once Danny finishes 12 hot dogs, could be an hour, could be 6 hours. No one knows. The over/under is we're still getting odds there. But come on, check us out. It'll be something different, something fun. So
the hot dog team is like heavy in their marketing campaign right now. This was them earlier this morning. I'm minting just because I saw this. You guys were on some other person's stream, all four of you wearing a hot dog costume. Yeah. And listen, I like your commitment to the Doug.
Yeah, so that's Dangy on the top right there, our dad, Chanko the bottom right, our artist, and that's Lou Dog, who's the host for Lucky Trader Stream. So shout out to Lucky Trader for having us. And that's who we are, man. You check our Twitter, check out our Discord. We're not trying to be a hyped up project. All our growth has been organic, grassroots, through word of mouth. And we've actually just collabed with communities that we're part of. Collections that we have that we've been had. The Gutter Cast, the Doodles, the Lemons. Which is just the chill vibe and brand that they build. These projects who truly don't overpromise things and have a great team behind them, the dev fellas. So definitely just come check us out. We'll be giving away one free mint to the lads on the Discord. If you're mobile, definitely we'll put up a free mint for you guys, and we'll put up the pre-sale Google form, and we'll get you guys up. So definitely check us out Tuesday, the March 8th. Pre-sale starts at noon, whenever we finish eating hot dogs.
All right, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be minting. I'm going to have some hot dogs, or hot dog, I guess. But we are going to get started here with today's episode. The first project that we have on the channel is going to be Wunks. We're going to be talking about women in leadership roles in the NFT space. Man, that is a I guess, portion of the market and a talk that needs to be had more in the NFT industry, and I'm glad it's becoming more and more of a topic of conversation at the forefront of our space. So I'm excited to have a really strong woman here who is leading this project. She's also co-founded a platform called Blam, which we're going to talk about. I'm super excited about like infrastructure projects as well. We have Natalie here from the Wunks project. We are going to bring her in right now and talk about Wunks NFT. So Natalie, I'm bringing you up on screen right now. I want to make sure I'm unmuting you and you are good to go. How are you doing today, Natalie?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We are doing great. Tigbo, as you can see, is doing super fantastically. Yeah.
I think he needs to wear the hot dog costume all the time because it's really doing a lot to calm my nerves. So wear the hot dog costume because that's like, it's fantastic. So I'm not as nervous seeing you in a hot dog costume.
I do it for our guests just to kind of break the ice, keep it chill. So definitely glad it's helping.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's working. It's working. It's magic.
Natalie, we're going to break the
Awesome.
ice a little bit more here by having you introduce what the Wunks project is. We're going to have ourselves, obviously, a deeper conversation there, but give somebody who's at home maybe a quick rundown of what the Wunks project is.
Absolutely. So Wunks is it's an all women punk inspired. So we actually have a collection of 6,000 tokens. We have some unique art aspects as well as some crypto punk inspired aspects. So we would like to think of ourselves kind of beyond a derivative. We're kind of punks with a purpose. So there's a lot of inspired collections out there, but we're really trying to take kind of that derivative and kind of flip the script on it a little bit and pay like kind of homage to the crypto punks, theme, but do it in our own, trying to, I think, back as well to the NFT space and bring more women and diverse voices into NFTs with some of our utilities and the way that we're actually setting up our Wunks community. So we have we minted out, it will be 2 months on March 7th. We fully minted out in about hours. It was kind of a crazy experience in and of itself. And from that, we had about 35% of our royalties are actually going back into a women in leadership fund, which I think you just had that graphic up. And we're giving grants actually to projects with women leaders in them. It doesn't have to just be all women, but we're trying to make sure that we're encouraging diverse voices to kind of emerge into the space, because we've identified, I think, several different barriers of entry coming into NFT spaces, and one of those is funding. And I think the other one is engineering. And I actually came into the Wunks project from more of that technical side, that engineering side, with Blam. So Blam is the platform that Wunks was actually created on, and that's an engineer tool platform. And then the funding aspect, because a lot of people don't understand that it actually takes, a series of money to get these projects onto the Ethereum network. And that can be a big barrier of entry for new and diverse voices to come into the space. So our Women in Leadership Fund actually kind of combines that ETH with those engineering tools. And we've combined those together for projects to submit proposals and kind of go through our system. And we actually just this week, it was on March 1st, which was the kickoff of Women's History Month. Actually, very serendipitously, we announced our first funding of our first project. We gave them 3 ETH to kick off like seed funding for their project, for an all-female team that's bringing some really just like killer art into the space, but they also have some just very interesting utility around like coercive control, course development, which is really a really important topic and something that we haven't seen a lot of. There's just this amazing team behind that, and that project's called Gala Girls, actually. So that's our first women in leadership project to receive funding. And I think for us, it was a really beautiful moment because it came kind of full circle where we were able to, and then empower others from that.
Yeah, it's definitely great to see more women in the space. I feel like there's a wave coming of that. You see a lot more projects coming up, led projects. As someone who's definitely currently creating a project, like you mentioned, it takes. So do you feel like something like Blam makes it easier for these women who are just entering the space, coming up with new projects? How does that Blam kind of make it easier for onboarding maybe women who are not used to the NFT space or just getting started?
Sure. So Blam in and of itself, it's a platform that my husband and I kind of created together. He is the engineering side of that team, and I'm more of the business side of that team. But it was a no code NFT launch platform, and our first tool was for generative collections. We actually have just now started making a tool for one-of-one collections too, to own their own smart contracts. So it's something that that ownership in this space is really, really important, that you have control over your contracts and ownership of that. So with those engineering tools, I think that there's a lack of, I think, sometimes confidence. You don't know who you're business with, like going out there and trying to find certain developers. So finding someone that you can trust, or that you can trust, engineers that you can trust, is really important. And a platform like Blam, we're fully doxed. We have of experience. I think we've been very forthcoming with our background, and we've been tested now times and have gotten better, I think, with each iteration. That's what before. We're currently in our beta phase. So part of our for holders has been exclusive access to Blam during this beta period. We have had a couple community projects that have come in. So these would be Wunk holders that have been inspired and launched their own collection through Blam during this beta period. And it's a way for us to have a very controlled beta period as well. And we've also been providing a lot of mentorship. I think the community projects sometimes differ than the women in leadership projects, because we've been providing a lot more hands-on mentorship and onboarding. I know us being now project runners and creators have given us such a different breadth of knowledge base that we wouldn't have had if we hadn't been a part of Wunks. And that's been just invaluable, because we not only now have these just awesome engineers, but we have had this experience with the marketing and the project, the market in and of itself, that we can really help projects learn from our own experience. And I think that's what I've seen a lot of women in this space be truly committed to, onboarding others. And they've been, I know, extremely welcoming to me, and shared their, excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold, their knowledge with me. But it's been an absolutely wonderful experience. And we've really hit all of our milestones on our roadmap in kind of that under 2-month time frame. And we're looking now at expanding that roadmap and potentially looking at other utility to kind of satisfy all of our holders. I think we have this kind of social aspect where we're trying to give back, but we're also wanting to provide other utilities for holders that are coming into it from a different angle, because there's room for everyone. And exploring things like tokenization, and what does that look like, and how can we execute that in a really mindful manner, because we're definitely a team where we like to look before we leap. So I think it's very purposeful and thought out. And we're definitely not trying to rush into things prematurely.
So part of the community fund, you mentioned you help with the startups and these projects get off the ground. You mentioned there's some mentorship, some molding, stuff like that. Where does the funding stop? Is there something for maybe for their community as well once they're launched, or what does that get distributed for other new projects coming on?
So the Women in Leadership Fund is specifically for launching new projects. Our community fund is for Wunk holders to actually decide what to do with that. So the community fund, we ended up matching that as project creators to the Will Fund. So the Will Fund, the Women in Leadership Fund, was initially funded with about 6.8 ETH from our secondary sales, those royalties. So that was 35% of those royalties. That was the 6.8 ETH. And we ended up matching that to kick off the Will Fund. And from the projects that are minted on Blam, so Blam has no upfront for project creators except deployment costs, which that's one of those things that the Will Fund can kick in, those deployment costs, because there is a cost there, but that's not our costs on the Blam side. But our Blam on the back end after, and it's kind of built into the contract, there's a 7% fee. And of that 7%, it's 2% goes back to the community fund, 2% projects at least will go back into the Will Fund, kind of that self-sustaining cycle, and 8% goes back to Blam. And so we're taking a very small percentage of the inside of things. So our community fund is really to benefit holders, to benefit the Wunk holders. And we've devised a system where community control. So we've been looking for really good proposals and would like to take some more, because there's funding out there. And there's a lot of cool things that we can do, whether it's, purchasing land in Metaverse, or, you know, going down some really cool art aspects. So we've been trying to encourage our community to come forth, because we had a lot of these great ideas with these proposals, and we have a voting system in place. Initially, we were wanting to launch into DAOs, like dual DAOs, but we found that, sorry, my cold's kicking up. We found that I think we didn't want to prematurely launch a DAO, because that's smart contract, and you can't take that back once you put it out there. And we need to make sure that our engagement is peak in order to actually have that DAO execute successfully. So because it's not at that point where it can be like truly decentralized with that momentum, I'm kind of facilitating things. So I'm pushing it forward. I'm getting out there, but there is a little bit of facilitation that is necessary. And so that's why we have the funds right now and not the DAOs, because we didn't want to do something that would hamper the project before it was ready. So we have the funds out there, and I mean that community fund, our house, that's just waiting for the right thing for, I think, all of us and eyes behind, and really use those funds in a great way. And it's self-sustaining. We're excited about the future there.
Yeah, I love that. Anybody that's been involved in DAOs understands the exact points you were making there of it needing to be facilitated first. It needs to be worked in. It doesn't come out of the box ready to roll by any means. It just happened to be that you guys are like the first derivative project that we've had on NFT Live. Was there any pushback? And I know you even said that you don't see yourself as a derivative project, so I get that. But was there any pushback from CryptoPunks, from their community, from the Yuga Labs team? Like,
you know, we haven't heard from them, and I would hope that they would look at us and at least respect what we're trying to do, and know that we're not just trying to make money off of something that they put out there as their kind of intellectual property. That there's been a lot of projects that are out there that are just, you know, in it for the money and doing various derivatives. And I think we're inspired by, but we're also trying to push the space forward. And I think that's what a Wunk is. It's like we're trying to level it up. We're trying to say, okay, you know, someone came in and they did this amazing project, and they kind of set the bar. Like, what's the bar? What does that look like? And I think that that's what our project is about. And the space of those, that it's strange because there are so many things that are inspired by other projects. So there is that tricky line to walk. You know, I think that we have had a little bit of pushback that people do like to lump all derivatives together. And I think we've been out there trying to be really clear with our messaging on that. I'm doing a great job communicating that, but I'm sure there's always room for improvement. But, you know, it's that derivative label can have a connotation. And I think we're really trying to be our own on that, while we're acknowledging where credit is due and where there were groundbreakers in space. We're trying to kind of forge our own path and be groundbreakers in a different way. But it is something that I think we're always willing to talk about, and we're willing to criticism over as well. And I think it's something that needs to be discussed within the space, because you see, you know, I mean, there's now been three derivatives of, like, we're trying to get that like elusive blue check mark on OpenSea, and we've had all of these derivatives for us, but they view us like a derivative. They use the language of like a remix, and you know, some people just want that. I don't know if we're ever going to get it. Like, I just, you know, I don't know. We've applied, but we might, you know, we might be too closely related. You know, it just, OpenSea can be a little bit of a black box, but but you know, I think we're really trying to at least the conversation, and I hope people would respect that and at least acknowledge for what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I'd say, but I'm gonna hop in front of you real quick. But from the derivative side, it feels like you guys get punished for the sins of some other derivative projects. You know, where these other ones launch for, you know, nefarious reasons, just trying to have like a quick flip, and then you guys are actually trying to do something here with Wunks, and OpenSea doesn't really differentiate for some reason. But
they don't, and you know, we've even had people in our community say that they want, you know, like the Wunks to evolve into their own kind of their art theme. And we've talked about that. Like there could be potential, but we don't be held back. But we're also, the one thing that I love, and you think about all of the derivatives and you think about what we're trying to do, is you're talking about accessibility. Like when you look at CryptoPunks, when you look at Wunks, like there is art out there that is blowing. This is pixel art that is fun. It makes you, it looks at it and you're like, hey, like I can do that. And you probably can. Like that's the thing. Like pixel art is very accessible and fun. And I've been doing some of the art for the honorary Wunks collection right now, and I've been having a blast doing it. It is something that I think that's what the NFT space is in general, is you look at it and you can really find your own way, and there is something for everybody kind of out there. But with the art, and I think what it has inspired in general, especially from a punks standpoint, that I mean, it really, like that should be a compliment, I think, to the creators of CryptoPunks, because they have inspired a tsunami of creativity out there in the ecosystem. And you know, I would think that they should be proud of that. And we're just trying to kind of at least pay attention and, like I said, further that conversation and bring some light into the space while we're doing it.
Yeah, definitely great. Seems like a great project, and what you guys are doing at the core of onboarding new members in the space, helping them along, giving them advice that, you know, sometimes it's hard to come by because it's really tough to make it in this space, you know. But women-led projects supporting other women is something we love to see, and we're definitely appreciative of you coming on here and showing this and just giving another side of the NFT space that maybe we're lacking, you know. So definitely appreciate you coming through. If there's anything else you want to give out to the community, anything we might have missed, definitely, you know, just let us know, and we'll get going.
No, I appreciate your time today. I know you have another guest, so thank you so much for having us today, and thank you for being flexible last week. We really appreciate flexibility there, and we know a lot of work goes into the show. So thank you for letting us come back and be here today, and we'll see you again soon.
Natalie, I want to have one last question here. How can someone apply to get part of the, like maybe apply for a project to one of your funds?
Absolutely. I think that is a great question. We actually have a form on our website. So if you go to wunks.xyz, there's the will form on there. I'm handling all of those submissions personally. So it is something that we have kind of an interview process. I think we've also been really mindful about the doxing process. So we try to keep all of that information private as well, to make sure people don't feel like they are having to be doxed if that's not something that they are ready for. I know as women, it's a different conversation about doxing sometimes, especially in this environment. It can be, you can deal with other aspects. I'll just say that. But that women in leadership proposal form is definitely, it's out there. And we kind of have essentially right now, our process is that you fill out the form, and then we actually have a community panel that I review things and I kind of redact project IP. So it's really just going through me as that centralized point. And again, that's one of the reasons why we weren't doing like prematurely growing into a DAO. So I do, if there's any specific IP issues, you know, we don't want people to feel like they would be at risk of like trait sniping or project sniping. So we're very conscious about privacy in that way. So we review these projects in a redacted way with some trusted community members and then make our decision from there.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much for stopping by again, Natalie, and rescheduling with us. We didn't know if we could get you guys on after last week, but it was a good interview here, and thank you so much for breaking down the project.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Bye.
Thank you. Awesome, man. Definitely cool to see things like that. Like we said, women-led project, well, co-founded women projects, but in the space, like I said, it's definitely something that's lacking here. But it's great to see as well, because I feel like there's definitely a lot more women projects popping up recently as of late.
Much more.
You know, hopefully, and docs teams, you know, we've had teams where they pretend to be women in the past, you know, and they kind of rug the project. So like she mentioned, it's definitely tougher for women to be dogs just because different circumstances. But it's definitely always cool to kind of see that they're truly led by other women.
Yeah, I like the insights to the DAO setup as well. For people who
Yeah.
are just starting their projects and trying to get into DAOs, I think Natalie laid it out there very clearly that it needs to be worked along and it can't just be we're going to be super decentralized right off the bat. So, yeah, love what the two funds are doing there as well. Just in general. Guys, we have Prodigy here waiting in the wings with the loot box. We have one Wunks to give away. One Wunk to give away here. Is it Crypto Wunk or is it just Wunk? What do we think?
I think it's once.
It's just Wunks? Okay. So we're giving away one Wunk here. Prodigy is waiting in the wings. This is what I need from you guys. I need you to type into chat right now, Wunks. We are going to put you guys on a wheel, the good old wheel of names, and we're going to pick one winner for attending today's live show to hear about these two awesome projects. We're going to pick one winner live on stream. I'll bring the wheel of names up. I think, was it always Buffalo or Ronan that was not liking the wheel names? Do we remember that?
Yeah, I don't know, but I remember it wasn't a favorite. That's what I know.
Yeah, well, now we have awesome Prodigy to handle the wheel names, and he is going to send me the link, and we're going to run that very, very quickly for you guys so you guys can win one Wunk here on the channel. So thanks again for stopping in. Natalie, absolutely appreciate the breakdown of the Wunks project. I'm going to buy myself one right after this as well. I need more women NFT projects, to be honest. I didn't get Boss Beauties when they were on. What other women-led projects can we give a shout-out here to as we go forward?
Well, definitely, it was funny because I remember having Boss Beauties on that day, and
Yeah.
I remember minting them, and for a long time I held them. I still have one, and it's great to see another project like that because they definitely are expanding and thinking outside the box as far as not just bringing women-led projects, but just the NFT space outside of the project. They've been doing stuff with the stock market. They were like, I think they had their photo up during the New York Times, not New York Times, the stock market. I forget what it's called. I'm drawing a
Stock
blank.
exchange.
But yeah, but just stock exchange. Yeah, Jesus, there you go. But yeah, I remember. Yeah, we've had a few women projects here, but it's something I feel like it shouldn't matter whether it's women or not. But it's good to see that it is happening. Is there being some awareness on it?
Absolutely. Well, great breakdown there, guys. Tigbo's been in the crypto space for so long, he's forgot what the stock exchange was, or maybe it's the hot dog costume.
It's just the hot dog runs hot, so
Got
still
it.
a little sweaty from that.
Still a little sweaty. Okay, well, guess what? Joe cannot be sweaty. We have Joe Payne here from Society of the Hourglass. Good friends of the channel. We've had Society of the Hourglass on before. They've been sponsors of the network, so I want to give them a huge shout out here before we bring Joe on. They've had a lot of updates since they last came on. They had their initial mint. They have a lot of things in the works when it comes to things in their community. So community events like Texas Hold'em, where they're actually implementing the NFT assets that they actually sell. They're doing a lot of things with their animated series to come as well. So I'm going to let Joe break it down for you. I'm not going to, just take his thunder here, but they have an amazing highlight trailer that we're going to play. And then on the other side of it, we'll be talking with Joe. All right. Talk to you guys soon. All right, we have Joe Payne, co-founder of the Society of the Hourglass. Joe, what do you think about Tigbo's hot dog costume, man?
I thought it was great.
Okay.
I think you should wear it all the time.
That's the second guest that said so. Yeah, that means we have to do it.
Listen, I don't know if I could do more than 5 minutes in that suit. I live in South Florida, man. It's hot. It's hot out there.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's hot. Joe, definitely excited to have you on the show again, man. We had you on about a couple months ago at this point. Time flies, of course. You guys had a successful launch. You're doing a lot of things with Hashku and Society of the Hourglass. For someone who is not familiar with what Society of the Hourglass is and what you're doing with Hashku, break it down, man, and we'll have ourselves a good combo.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe I would start by just zooming out and saying what we're trying to do with the Society of the Hourglass is essentially of Saturday morning cartoons, but with NFTs. So we've got a lot of really fun stuff in the works. We've got an animated series that we're working on We've got a partner out in LA, Jump Cut Media studio, that we're working with on the lore process and working to develop the script and the pitch for the series. We just wrapped phase 2 of our writers room, and we're getting ready to pull all of the content that we discussed and voted on as holders and establish and create our narrative handbook, our story Bible. And that'll be the thing that we give to not only the writers that we hire for the series, but also will kind of serve as the foundation for storytelling for anyone that wants to tell stories based on the Society of the Hourglass, us included, or community and fan works. We give non-exclusive commercial rights to our holders so they can write their own story and go as those. So we're really, really excited about what like. You can see up here on screen, you've got the book pulled up. Our art production on our book has kicked off. We've been showing some sneak peeks of the work in progress on that. Our artist, Mike, has done, I think he's got about a dozen or so children's to his name. So really stoked about the progress that he's making there. We're starting with our Wild West spread. It's going to be a seek and find book like Where's Waldo, but it features our characters and our IP, and including some of the characters from the NFT collection, which we're really excited about. And yeah, we've got lots of other fun stuff. You mentioned Texas Hold'em. We launched our first holder exclusive browser based game. It's basically like cheaters draw poker. Texas Hold'em was a fun play on words, but the characters that you own, you can see them across the bottom of the screen there. They give you different perks that you can use to increase the odds of getting a good hand. And so right now we're just stockpiling, so the players get a certain number of games per you take your tokens into the saloon, play some poker, and then we're going to be launching a reward strategy to leverage those chips so they can be redeemed for different things. And we're lots in the works there. We don't have anything formalized yet, but we're pretty excited about some of the stuff that we're thinking about.
And so last time we had you, I think you were just about to roll out one drop. Now this is the chapter 2 coming up, correct?
Yeah, so we sold out chapter 1, which was awesome. We launched back at the very beginning of January. January 4th was our mint day. We sold chapter 1 out. We are getting ready to launch chapter 2. We don't quite have a date locked in yet, but it's not going to be too far in the near future. So we're really excited about that. We actually just had a team meeting today talking about our next game, and if we go with the direction that we were talking about today, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. People are going to have a good time with it. It very much kind of continues the spirit of poking fun at some of the space and just having a good time with our characters and our IP and the nature of NFTs themselves. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff happening. We're going to be at NFT LA at the end of the month, working on a small event that we're going to have there, kind of after hours, that we're really excited about. So yeah, man, lots in the works.
Yeah, it's really cool that you rolled out the game exclusively for holders, showing that utility that you guys have, which is great to see. I know a lot of collectors see that in a project because it kind of shows some promise of future plans to build and expand the brand and create more utility for the holders. So definitely always great to see. You mentioned the writer's room. What is that exactly for someone that might not be familiar with what part of that project
a great question. So the writer's room as a concept is like that's where writers of an entertainment property are getting together to riff on ideas and work through the story. So that's what we're doing with the Society of the Hourglass. We're managing the discussion in our Discord. So we've got a writers room has a channel where holders can submit ideas for our seek and find book. So we're asking, give us some thoughts on character interactions. When you think about a full 2-page spread that's got 300-400 different characters on it, that's a lot of opportunity for lots of fun little kind of micro interactions. And so a lot of what you'll see in the book is sourced from the holders and community, the ideas coming from there. And then the main substance of it, though, is the discussion that's been happening around the narrative foundation for our series and everything else. So I mentioned Jump Cut Media. We've been kind of going through this roughly 6-ish week process where we would submit prompts to holders. We would discuss them in the writers' room in Discord, and then we had a token gated portal where holders could go in and once they've kind of formalized their ideas a little bit, submit proposals for us to discuss on a weekly call. And then from there, we would kind of synthesize what felt like the best of the ideas and put them to a formal vote for our holders. And so we've kind of been going through this rolling process each week of discussing the prompts, taking submissions, and then voting on them. And so what we've got is this library of content that has been really like substantively formed and shaped by our community that kind of establishes the core story elements for the Society of the Hourglass. And so then we now will take that and we kind of give it to the world. It becomes not just a resource for writers of our animated series, but for anybody that wants to tell stories based in our universe. So really, really excited about that. Here, probably in the next month or so, we'll have all of that actually put together in like a story Bible that people can go and download and just use.
I have a crazy idea. Have you ever heard of Hotdougs? I'll go on the Discord and throw my submission in there for the writer.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Could we see a collab there? Are you guys planning like collabs with other communities as it relates to your lore?
So you joke about that. I mean, we are having conversations. I just had a call yesterday with a team. I won't spoil it yet because we're still formalizing some of the details, but I'm really excited about it. And so what we're working on is kind of launching a lore, like a cross-community lore contest where we're going to create a prompt and then have people from both communities kind of write this cross-community story where it's characters from the Society of the Hourglass and characters from the partner collection. They may not be canon, but it wants to kind of get the creative juices flowing and start building on what's possible. One of the coolest things for me out of what we've done so far is seeing how even before we got started with our writers room, we had people writing like 5, 10, 12 page stories based on their characters. And so even though that isn't like officially locked in as canon, like some of the ideas that are coming out of that kind of stuff are like creating that we then start to have in our writers room. So who knows what comes out of it, right? It's a way for us to get our communities working together and having a good time. So
yeah,
we'd totally be down to have a hot dog conversation there.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first. All right, listen, I feel like I'm kind of like upgrading every time we have you on when it comes to my knowledge on Web3 and like media specifically. And this ideal of like having collaborative lore and collaborative stories being told with the people that hold, like, it's such a cool concept, but I think people can't connect the dots a lot of times. Where like in a Star Wars, for example, you'll have a Boba Fett out of that, like out of the whole series, become like this integral part and really cool, person within that lore. Has there been a development in that where people are creating stories and it leads more toward one character being famous with all of these assets that I'm showing on the screen? Has there been any developments with like any of these characters becoming famous?
So yes, maybe famous is a little bit of a stretch, but
within your community.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a couple of layers to that. We have the core characters of our collection are actually based on like real historical figures that have existed. So, we've got like Tesla and Harriet Tubman and Sacagawea and other like really, really famous and influential characters. And then what you got on screen here is more of our generative characters. So these are all the citizens. So by far, citizens are the largest group of characters in the collection. But it's interesting because where we have the benefit of kind of established background on our core characters, we also don't have the burden of that with the citizens, right? So you kind of have this wide open, like it sky's the limit type of thinking happening. And so we have people that have like, we're letting people name their citizens, and we don't have like the interface formalized for it. So right now it's just like, hey, let a team member know what you want to name your citizen, and we'll update the metadata on chain, and it'll be reflected on OpenSea. And so we have people building these personas around their characters. One of the more fun ones, we've got the Dust Runners have kind of emerged as this like seedy group of quasi criminals within the Society of the Hourglass. And that, but like we're having conversations about the Dust Runners. This was a community idea as becoming canon in a way. So we're seeing all sorts of stuff like that happen. It gets really, really fun to just, I mean, if any one people was responsible for this, you could still have a really interesting story, but it's just not going to have nearly the breadth. It's not going to have near the breadth and diversity of inputs and perspectives shaping it as going with this like very collaborative approach. And so it's been really cool to see like what people key in on and and having a lot of fun with that.
Right. I feel like having those community members that build these things within the Discord, within the community, is what really makes a project successful. Because you have these members who are really invested in it, who really truly just love the project, who love what it's about, and that's kind of what I feel like all communities should have, because that's what it's truly built on. Like for our Discord in the Hotdougs, like we have fans, they're creating this crazy fan art that took their time out to do this and just get really creative. It's really cool to see, because that they're excited about this and they truly do like what you guys are putting together. So definitely cool to see. I just want to touch on, I know Q mentioned it earlier, some of the partnerships you guys have recently put together. I know KGP NFT was one of them. We recently had them on our show as well not too long ago. So you want to touch on that? What you guys do? Have more details?
Yeah, so we're really excited about that one. Anyone that's not familiar, Chris Graves is a really talented photographer. Has launched KGP NFT, doing these kind of limited edition drops of photo NFTs. So we're teaming up with KGP NFT on their first book, their first photo book, and we've got some exclusive pre-sale spots for our community. They're launching on Hashku, which is the tool and the launch platform that our team built. So that's the way that we're monetizing right now, is asking for pre-sale access and free NFTs to give back to our holders from the projects that launch on Hashku. KGP NFT will be the third or fourth project that we've launched through Hashku, and we've got some other really cool partnerships that are in the works and being lined up right now. Hopefully we'll continue to see more and more, and it's just one more way for us to kind of continue rewarding and driving value back to our holders, whether it's because I'm going to be able to get first access to the tool as a holder and launch my own collection, or just kind of sit back and like, hey, there's a really cool project that I'm interested in launching, and now I have like direct access to being able to get in on the pre like that.
Joe, we've got just a little bit of time left. I do want to pull up our giveaway, and I want to have you kind of drop in chat. So do you want them to say Hourglass, correct? Is that the term? Is that the word we're going?
Hourglass. Yep.
Okay, so we'll have the community do Hourglass. We will run our previous giveaway right now. I'm gonna pull it up. We're gonna spin this old bad boy, the good old wheel of names, for our Wunk winner here, and it looks like Space. Oh my goodness, yikes. Digits, you won a Wunk, my friend.
Rigged.
Yeah, huge rig. It's only rig if you don't win. But anyways, Digits won our first giveaway. You heard it from Joe right there that we are going to be doing a Society of the Hourglass giveaway as well. Drop Hourglass in the chat and we will run another wheel of names before the episode ends. Thank you to Prodigy, who's setting all this up in the background. But Joe, so what's the deal now with the roadmap? Where are we headed? How can someone get involved? And let's just get that on the table.
Yeah, I can't remember if we've talked about this some on the show before, but I don't actually like to think about what we're doing as a roadmap. Like we're building a company and a brand, right? Like we launched this IP with an NFT collection, but we're taking it anywhere and everywhere we can. One of the things that's really, really important for us is exposing as many people as possible to our IP, not only because we want the Society of the Hourglass to be successful, but because we also want to use that as an opportunity to onboard them into Web3 and NFTs. And if we can meet people where they're at rather than waiting for them to come to NFTs and stumble upon us, then I think we're positioned to do that in a much more accessible way. So I mentioned the book. We're working on the art for that. We've been dropping teasers and Discord for our holders, and it's looking really, really. We're gonna, ideally that's the first in a planned series. So we'll get production on this first one done, and then we'll kind of reassess like what does that process need to look like moving forward. We've got the animated series kind of underway. I mentioned we just wrapped phase 2 of our writers' room. We'll be kicking off phase 3 within the next probably 3 or 4 weeks. We've got the games coming out. We've got chapter 1, which is Texas Hold'em. We're talking about chapter 2. Kind of the end game there is that we want to end up with 10 or so maybe different games where you kind of have like a Society of the Hourglass arcade in a way, and you just have all of these really unique and interesting experiences that you can come and participate in and play. And the chips and Texas Hold'em, there will be an equivalent for every other game we do, and those are kind of feeding into this broader reward strategy, and holders can redeem those for different things. And we're also just continuing to keep an eye out and an eye and our mind on strategic partnerships. We've got some really, really exciting stuff that theoretically should be kind of finalized by next week. We can't quite talk about all of it yet. But the maybe sneak peek of what we're working on is we are talking to a film festival about a partnership and using our characters for some of the assets that they're doing for the festival, and working with them on an NFT collection that our characters will be a part of. So stuff like that is going to be really, really foundational in getting this brand and this IP in front of the Hollywood industry and people that aren't already in Web3 and NFTs. So as we work towards more things like that, my hope is that you'll continue to see the Society of the Hourglass, not only within the context of the Web3 community, but even outside of it. And we'll really start to grow this like entertainment brand, what it is, which is just a really engaging and rich mechanism for cool stories.
Yeah, I'm gonna Joe. We're
it's definitely cool.
Hit it. Take.
Yeah, go ahead. Touch on one thing. No, just to touch on goals, because I feel like some projects just way over promise things right off the bat. I feel like taking it step by step, building that out with the community in mind. I feel like that's the way to go, because like you said, you're trying to make this into something bigger, a brand, so you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. So I just want to say that I totally agree on that subject, because I feel that as of late, just with everything that's been happening, I feel like I kind of see that. I look more for that in projects that don't promise a game Q4 of 2022. Definitely. So I definitely agree with you as far as that goes. So I'm glad to hear that that's what you guys are approaching it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, it's critical, right? We talk all the time with our community about building out in the open, and if we can't see the future, we have a vision for where we're going, but we're going to be adaptive and responsive as realities change or opportunities to present themselves, and we're going to be we're going to adapt and do what we need to. The animated series was not something we originally were planning on doing right out of the gate. But the opportunity presented itself in the partnership with Jump Cut Media. It was kind of a serendipitous connection that got made. There was just too much alignment between what we were doing, what they're doing, and our values for us to ignore that. And so we pulled that forward, and now it's a really critical part of our plan. And we try to keep an open mind when it comes to thinking about how we grow and expand the brand.
Yeah, congrats on getting KGP Project 2. That's a big win for you guys over at Hash.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited about that one.
I'm super excited about this wheel of names here that we've got, Joe. We are going to roll for an Hourglass. A couple things here, though. Can we talk about this? Digits win again. That's how you know he's a killer. He won again. He already won, and he put his name in there again. And then we have Joe Payne in here. Joe, you put your own name on your giveaway.
I didn't think mine was going to get put in the wheel.
Well, we will see who wins this. And it looks like it's going to be.
XWOW.
XWOW. Congrats to XWOW for winning a Society of the Hourglass NFT, and now you get to be a part of all the lore that they're building with their animated series and just their project in general. Joe, always a great time having you on the show, man. We'll have you again, of course, probably in the next 3 months to get another update, guys. Man.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys. It's always fun.
Awesome, brother.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, no, we're still here, folks. We're still here.
Rugged.
Yeah, full rug. Guys, we are still here, but we do have to get going. We had a long episode there, a double episode, if you will, with the Wunks NFT project as well as Society of the Hourglass. We had some giveaways on the chat. I love doing these live, actually. I think we should continue doing that with Tig.
Definitely a lot of fun, but you know, the same pattern continues. Me not winning. So I don't know. We're gonna set up with it.
You're gonna have to wear that hot dog costume if you want to win. That's what I say.
Man. Yeah, I'll throw it back on. If I win a prize, I'll throw it back on. Let me tell you.
My man. All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in to NFT Live today. Please leave a like. It helps get the episode out so that people can hear about these awesome projects that we have here on the channel. Other than that, we will see you guys. Actually, no, we have Art Start Now tomorrow. We have Fun Uncle on Sunday, and then Music Mondays on Monday. And then we will come back to you with NFT Live on a Tuesday. Thank you guys so much for stopping by here today. Thank you to our guests as well for breaking down some awesome projects. Tigbo, take us out, man. You got us.
Guys, thank you so much for checking this out. Like and subscribe. Have a good weekend. Our vibe, our tribe.